you play on the City of Heroes Rebirth server, or you just like to keep an eye on what all the different servers are doing for updates? Well, City of Heroes Rebirth server has added more to their issue 4 update. I'm Controlled Chaos, and I'm going to be going through those updates with you, what they've added into the game. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing, they added in even more character customization for skins and things like that. It's really cool and really interesting stuff. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going through and I'm picking a few things to get the character up and going so we can get to those skins. Now, some of these skins will change and may not work on everything in the game. There is a list of some of the stuff that doesn't work on. Patch notes are either up or will be up soon. Silver Age Band was kind enough to give me a heads up of when this patch came live so I could start making this video for you. So if the patch notes aren't up on the Rebirth server's website, it will be soon. But what they've added is really nice, and what it is new textures. A lot of new textures. Let me get down to them because they are down here a bit. As you'll see here, look at that glowing stuff. You can do a bunch of really cool stuff. You got some see-through, some neon, some plasma, a bunch of really cool stuff. Look at the different color changes that goes through. It's got a rainbow feel to it. You got the random, you got the specular and stuff like that, and that's really cool. Now there's one here that I really like. It's right below stone. You can see it a bit, but I'm going to change the colors here. The primary color, I'm going to change it to that. The secondary color, I'm going to change that. Actually, I'm going to flip this for the sand. The sand, I'm going to put to this, and then I'm going to put to that. Look at that. It looks even better on the chest. So let me get it for the chest. If I go to tights, and I scroll down to the S's, and I want just below where it shows, there's the sand. Look at that movement around on it. And the great thing is, it is on all body parts for the male, the female, and the huge, which is really nice. That looks really cool. Now, here's the really cool thing. Let's say I don't want regular. Let's say I want to do armored. I can go to chest. I can scroll down and you'll notice, look at that neon armor. We got neon armor. You got the plasmas, the changes there, and that looks really cool. What's really cool is you got sand that you can do. So you can do an armored sand guy, and that's really nice. And then if we go down further, let's find the specular. So you could literally make yourself a ghost knight or a ghost pirate. In fact, I think that's going to be really awesome to see. But as we're going through, I'm just going to go back to the regular tights for the sand and finish building these out. So like, let's say I choose shoulders. Now, it's not going to work for all of the parts, like I said. You know, a lot of these parts don't have a second option for choosing of stuff. So, like that, you have the basic, you have the metallic. It's not going to add it on for the shoulders and things like that. And that's okay. I wouldn't expect it for the shoulders, but you can add it on to the basic parts, which is really nice. I want to check something here, because I know that there's the stone. Yeah, so like the fire and ice stuff that's specific here on the chest and stuff like that, it doesn't work on those. And that's, once again, that's cool. It's all the main body parts it works on. If I scroll down here, you'll notice that it's not in here, and the reason being is you have these parts here where you can do flared and stuff like that. Now it does say I was informed that flared and the finned ones don't have all of the textures, but if I were to do like this banded here and then go here, look, it's popping in there, it's showing up on those, and that's really, really cool. So I could actually just do sand there, and that gives me, oops, it went away. I need to actually click on it instead, just hovering over. Okay, I've clicked on it, but look at that there. You got that detail, so you can have some formations to the parts and the gloves. So if I went to this glove, I did band here, and then also did the sand here. There we go. I don't remember reading notes about belts. I don't believe it's there for the belts. Yeah, it's not there for the belts, but that's okay. You know, the belts have their own textures to it, and that would be really hard to redo all the textures for all those different belts and the geometries for those and stuff like that. They wanted to keep to the main parts. This is already really, really good in what they've done. I like the fact that they went through and did this. They got really cool things that you can do. Like I was saying, you could do yourself a ghost knight or a ghost pirate, and that's really, really cool. But like folded, like I said, in folded they don't have some of the things working for it on folded. Like the plasma, it works decently, you know. You do got your spectral, but you notice you're missing the sand. The sand, you know, because it's animated, it won't work on this part. And that's part of the reason why. It's really hard to animate with that folded part and getting the textures to work right and not cause harsh seams. So with that being said, we can go to flared though. Now if we go to flared and scroll down, you'll notice the sand is there, and that's because it was easily UV mapped. It makes it easier to do the sand texturing and make it look good, and that's really, really cool. The other thing they added was in back, if we go to capes, so I'll have to unlock capes. I haven't unlocked capes. I gotta get the character to 20 to unlock capes because it is Rebirth, but they've added in new textures to capes, which is really, really nice. If you see that, that's really cool. Now here's the cool thing. You're thinking to yourself, oh, well, I got this character, but now I'm stuck with that hair being that way. That's the really cool thing. Check this out. Sand hair. Now you really can have a full out done thing, and they did it with all of them. So you even have the spectral and all these different ones, the uncanny setup and stuff like that. And it's really, really nice that they've done these. Like, I'm just gonna focus on the chest because it's the biggest part of the body, easiest to see. I'm gonna go through each of the different ones. So as you saw, we have the specular, a nice ghostly effect. And the great thing is as you change these colors, look at how that hue is changing. Look, it turns a bit red there. And if I were to change this one and make this darker, look at what it does there. Or if I make this lighter, look at that. Or what if I made this one red and I went here and made this lighter, or this darker, or this green, or purple, or let's say blue. You've got all these different colors you can really sort of play around with on that. And then with that also being said, let me find some of those other ones that I was showing off. So look at that. That looks awesome. I love the look of that. You know, same with the plasma. Look at the plasma. You know, it has a really nice look to them all. And of course you got the asymmetrical stuff that's all there. It's just really nice to see them add in all of this hard work. But what I want to do now is I actually want to jump in game and I want to show you more of what they've done, because there are some cool other features they've added. So I leveled this character up to 4 and I want to show you something really cool. 2 things really cool in this that are really nice. There's a new power pool for us all to use. So here I am in front of Miss Liberty. I'm going to click on Miss Liberty. I'm going to click train up to next level. So let me click on it. I'm going to go to power pools. Look right here where it's already selected. Gadgetry. We have Gadgetry. So you now have nano nets. You now have energy gauntlets. You now have jetpacks, turbo boost, gauntlet, barrage, and force barrier. That is really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead. I want to try nano net first. I've already seen this on some of the other servers, but I haven't seen nano net. So I'm gonna choose nano net. I'm gonna go okay. I'm gonna click okay there. That's really cool. So I got the new power there and it's set to 5. I'm gonna find myself a mob to go after and we'll see what this looks like in the forerun. And it won't be that hard because there's a lot of them right over here. In fact, there's one right there. So let's check out NanoNet. Look at that. How cool is that? And of course, I'm going to do my first shot and it didn't push him back, which is really cool. I like that. So it's like a bit of a effect there. And I like that the fact that look at that glow that's around them. That's a really cool, nice effect added in. So you're going to want to play around with gadgetry if you got a tech type character or a natural character. The other thing I want to go over real quick while I'm here, let me get away from those clockworks and into a safe area to show you this, because I'm not going to be able to see my main in-game interface here. So what you'll want to do is, let's say you're like me and you have eyesight problems and you have trouble reading some of these buttons due to the bevels and the gradients on them. You go to options, and what you do is you go to graphics, and in graphics, if I actually go to graphics, so in graphics there is a new setting in here, and that is the, where was it? It is the high contrast right here. You can enable and disable that. So let's say I enable that. I go ahead and click it and it reloads in, and now what I'm going to do is, now that that's enabled, I'm actually going to back out of this and I'm going to go back into the character creation, because it's mainly for the character creation that this high contrast is in, because Rebirth had some players that were saying, look, my eyesight's really bad, I'm having trouble seeing some of the buttons and what they say in there. Look at this change. They flattened all the button. That shading has gone away. This Lady Moon Knight text pops up a lot higher. If I go back in to the character creation, all these buttons are easier to read for people with eyesight issues. Same with your next button and stuff like that. Just makes it super easy to read. It flattens them to make things easier to read so people don't make mistakes on what they are picking, which is really nice. You can just go through, you can read all this, the color set's there, you still got a bit of the gradient, but it doesn't have the beveling enhancing the gradient. It's just a 2-shade gradient, which is excellent, because I mean, these options are just really cool in how they did this. The fact that I have an easier time reading all these names with my nystagma problems and the eyesight's jumping around. When there's a bevel and a gradient thrown on top, it causes my eyes to jump around a lot, especially considering it was a white gradient on the top to create that bump effect to make this feel like it was rounded more, and then white text. My eyes really struggle when there's two very similar colors, one on top of another. So like for instance, if we were to have this main color white, and then this one, the secondary of this, my eyesight jumps around a lot when going deep into these details and seeing this. I really have to zoom in to see the difference. And that's just because of the way my eyes work. Some people are legally blind, and so they'll have a hard time reading and seeing that. And so adding in this high contrast really adds into it. So what I want you to do is, if you like playing on the Rebirth server, or you're interested in helping the Rebirth server out, go ahead and jump on their test server. Help them test this out. Check for things. Make sure that the sand animations work on all the different parts. For instance, if I go to this, I got the helms here. If I go to my helm, you can't change that there, but there are other ones that you can. For instance, full helms. And then I go into helms. Okay, I was in the wrong thing. So helms does have that. Look at that. That is cool. Play around for yourself and see what you can find on the server. I hope you found this information helpful, and I hope you enjoyed testing out this stuff, especially the gadgetry. Help them balance out that new power pool, and then play around the new textures and costume customizations, because there are some really great things in there. And if you missed the last update that I did, check out this video here. It talks about the first part of issue 4 update on the test server. Have a great day.